very happy to be here.
Ah, dude, it's an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for coming back on the show. I want to know, how was the road show? We left you when you were just about going out. I think it was the next day. How was it?
It was it was nonstop. It was 10 flights in 10 days, an average of 3 hours of sleep per day.
Oh,
It was tiring, but worth it.
did it remind you of like why you got into all of this when you were sitting in those hospitals, the waiting around, the like I want to go spend time with my dad. Was it like deja vu?
Well, it was a little bit like that on the sense of my dad was always like, please, son, Moises, do not be a sales rep because you spend the whole day in the car going from one hospital to the other. And I'm like, I listen to you, Dad. Now I spend my whole day in airports going from one hospital to another. Uh,
That is
but
hilarious.
yeah.
What's the American ecosystem like at the moment? Was it quite easy explaining the offering and showing them, or did they not get it? Oh wow.
At Kentucky University Hospital or the vice chair of innovation at Cleveland Clinic. And we get in with the top people in the industry. And for us, especially for me, it's a very simple proposition. I just sit down with them. I ask a couple of questions about their experience doing the surgery. And then I say, well, if that's how you feel, if that's the struggles that you've experienced or the needs that you see you need in the operating room, this is what we've been working on. And then I get to share what we've built within 15 minutes. And for me personally, it was easy because we built strong relationships with the top people. So we had that reputation behind us. And then we also happen to have the best technology. So for them, it's a no-brainer.
Have they seen this technology before, or for them is it just new?
So many of them have heard of mixed reality.
Right.
To be honest, like mixed reality is a growing field within the healthcare ecosystem. Like in 2016, there was maybe one, two papers published around it. One of our KOLs was the first doctor to do an operation with mixed reality back in 2013. And over the past 5 years, there's been like a 10x or a 100x increase in publications in medical journals about the use of augmented reality, mixed reality in the operating room. So you can see this growth, exponential growth, about doctors wanting to use mixed reality. It just happens that there is not enough useful solutions that are commercially available. So not all doctors have used it, but because they've read about it, they've seen their colleagues publish about it, they want to be part of it. And when they get to see our technology in this case being super easy to use and super easy to test, because you can test it in your own operating room, in your own office, sorry, then it's a very straightforward learning process for them. It's something they feel very comfortable with.
It brings to life the product instantly, I guess. So for them, they don't have to go and sit in and wait for someone to operate on. For them, it's like you can pitch it there and then and actively show the value that it creates.
Indeed, exactly, 100%. Uh,
Talk to me a little about like some of the news you've got out. I saw some commentary about FDA.
so, like, wow, I just got goosebumps. So that's something we've been working on for a long time, and I think this is the first time I'm going to say it publicly, but we got FDA clearance.
We'll bring the gong out. We've got the gong. We're gonna gong you in.
Oh,
Right, FDA clearance.
we got it, man.
Absolutely amazing.
We got it.
How is that process? How long has this been?
To put into perspective, what FDA clearance means is when you build a tech product, you build it, you launch, you sell.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't work, you relaunch the next week, no problems. Within healthcare, you cannot do that because you're building something that's going to be used on patients, something that's going to have real impact, and it's highly regulated. So we've got different levels of regulations, class one, class two, class three. What matters here is it takes tens of millions of dollars to reach there.
Hmm.
It takes years, if not decades, to reach FDA clearance. And we've done a sprint over the past 3 years. And within 3 years, we've finished developing the product. We documented, talked with the regulators, and got clearance in a record time at a fraction of the cost that many, many of the multi-billion dollar corporations have to spend.
How have you been able to do this?
That's our mode. We move fast. We don't break things because we're in healthcare. And as I like to say, we don't mind sleeping in couches, and we are very smart guys.
And does the medical space just not have that at the moment? And so you're able to move at a speed that no one else is moving at.
We just don't have the internal bureaucracy that medical technology companies have.
Right.
Like a big company like Johnson and Johnson, Stryker, Zimmer Biomet, they cannot focus on regulation of new products because they're already making billions selling implants, pieces
And
of
so the
metal.
incentives aren't
Why
there.
bother? But then when it comes to medical technology startups, these all come from either engineers or people that are very highly embedded within the healthcare ecosystem, which means they think the process is X, Y, Z. But we are London based, we are entrepreneurs, we are scrappy. So if we find a way that by talking with the regulator of this top company, we get insights into certain loopholes, or if we get to talk with the FDA regulators early on, just because we are very smart about where to find them, instead of having to pay an agency $1 million just to get that report, smart about our journey.
What does this mean for the company? Because the FDA approval globally is so recognized, does it open up new territories or does it just mean you can go full tilt in the US?
So this means we are no longer a research and development company, and we can start generating sales today,
Oh, wow.
which
Okay.
is massive. Now, in some places, the revenue generating process is longer than in others, but it can go from anywhere from 1 week to 3 months. And yes, the US market is the key territory that this unlocks, but FDA is regulated everywhere. Like in the Middle East, for example, all you have to do if you want to trade in the Middle East is fulfill paperwork. That's a matter of 1 or 2 weeks. And then you can start selling in a new region. And it's similar in many other regions across the globe. So we don't have to go through the same 3 years to launch in 20 different regions. It's a matter of weeks and a piece of paper.
That's insane. And so it carries all of that weight. You've done the R&D, you can now start selling. Obviously, last time we talked a lot about America being the kind of target territory to begin with. Are you looking at expanding outside of that now? Or is it very much focused on we want to deeply understand the US and then branch out into maybe like a Middle East, Singapore as an example?
Yeah, so very good point. So we've got our hands full on the US market.
It's a
That's where
hard
we
bull
have
to wrangle, isn't it?
it's the biggest names, it's the highest reputation, but that doesn't mean we don't have the interest across Europe. Like just a couple of weeks ago, I was speaking at the podcast of the Spanish Society of Orthopedics and Trauma. A week ago, my co-founder, he was speaking at the World Orthopedic Conference. We've got so much inbound from surgeons across Spain, Germany, Italy, all these many places that we are here to serve them. So the moment we get CE marking, because we are just a software product, just we are ready to sell to them as well.
How does this change, or does it change what's moving, like what you do moving forward? Has this always been the goal and it's just been teed up perfectly post the roadshow that you're able to now like go, well, we can sell it to you now, and it's not just R&D? Or has it changed the product roadmap slightly?
Well, the goal has always been to improve the way in which doctors operate and improve the patient outcome. That's been my mission. And this has been the way to do it. Now, we are FDA cleared. There's doctors that want this. And to be honest, because of the inbound, their roadmap has slightly changed. Like we launched with a product that was only for the arm. We
Hmm.
are now launching with the FDA with a product that's ready for the arm and legs operations. But we've got a whole system that allows doctors to plan surgeries before you have to go into the operating room. So you can be in your office planning them in a 3D environment. But we also have a pipeline that allows you to operate shoulders and a pipeline that allows you to operate on spine. So getting FDA clearance has opened the doors to an US market. It's opening the doors to an international market, but it's attracting so many doctors that's increasing what we can do exponentially as well.
What's hard right now for you? So the bottleneck now isn't we need the clearance. It's, well, we need to be able to service all of these people, all of these incredible doctors, all of these patients. So what's difficult right now? What's the bottleneck?
So we've got two bottlenecks at the moment. One is Europe. And I say
Right.
Europe in the sense of we secured FDA approval over the past couple of months, and we are ready to get CE marking. All that we are missing, it's the audit. It's to get
Ah.
someone within the European ecosystem to come over, visit us, and give us the check. That's it. We don't have to do any more work. We just need a visit. It only happens that there's a huge waiting list. We've been waiting for the past 6 months to get that visit. And of course, we were not going to get it over the summer months. So hopefully we are aiming to get it in the next few weeks. So that has been the first bottleneck to start selling in Europe. And then the second bottleneck is the way in which hospitals work in the US. Now we've done the hard work, which is convincing the doctors. Now the next stage is to convince the CFOs, the money people, the procurement officers. The good part is that we only have to do this once or twice in one or two hospitals across the US because the US buys from the US. So now we're going to Johns Hopkins. We'll be operating the patients. Will take a couple of months before we start generating revenue there as a way to get our foot in the door in the market. But once we do that, the whole country is open for us. So yes, it's a bottleneck of again 2, 3 more months before revenue generation. But once we get there, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be very, very good, Viraj.
And I think that what's lovely there is like what you said, America buys from America. And if you've got this signal of John Hopkins using the product, this beacon of medical excellence across the US and possibly across the world, right? It just signals to the
Indeed,
market that you are there and we are here and like we are ready because this has already been
indeed.
happening for a couple of months.
Indeed, indeed. And we are not going to behave like a startup anymore. Like we've already used all the tricks of a startup to get here. Now we are a medical device company. We are no longer scrappy. We are launching publicly next month at the Orthopedics and Trauma Conference in Phoenix. We are making a splash at the conference. We are inviting a bunch of the doctors that have been using our technology across the US, but also internationally. We are going to be making a lot of noise within the healthcare industry now.
Can I
This is our
ask,
moment.
around the CFO conversation that you've got to have with these
Yes.
hospitals, what are their problems? Like where do you fit into how they think about planning or financially planning? Is it optimizing for cost or is it they see this as a revenue generator?
So, on the case of the US, it's a matter of how much money are you making me? So, if
Right.
I spend $500, how many thousands are you giving me? But it also depends on the regions. Like, for example, in regions like Spain, like if there's a private hospital network that we work with, if they are have the opportunity of saying, oh, we use intraoperative artificial intelligence, that means as a private hospital, they can charge 600 euros more, 1,000 euros more per surgery, because you are giving something that no one else can.
Mm.
So the hospital, yes, can charge more money, but at the same time, the hospital, because they offer this, they attract more patients. So then you can start a revenue generating model. So for them is you're giving them more money, you're attracting more patients. So different regions have different strategies.
And from the Europe's perspective, you talk about this waiting list that you're on, and it's very difficult to just get the check off someone to come and visit you. Why is the waiting list so long? Is it just bureaucracy? Is it something else?
So the waiting list for patients in this case is you get patients in, but there's a whole bureaucratic ecosystem in which you have to go through someone to have a look at you, someone to decide whether you should go to this specialist or this specialist or that specialist.
Hmm.
And then this other specialist has a different view than what this person said, which means they redirect you to another specialist. It's not that well streamlined. So there's many things, many layers of paperwork, of people involved in any any patient that's assigned at any point, basically.
How do you feel about all of this right now? Do you feel like you're in a good place, that the company is like ready to start generating revenue? Obviously, that's amazing, but there's also a different level of intensity that's now going to be required. You've come out the scrappy startup and you're transitioning into the mentality of we are a medical company, and there is a level of level-headedness that comes with that. How are you thinking about all of this right now?
The strongest people around me. The clinical side and the technical side, we already talked about it. We've got my co-founder, Dr. Joan Ferraz, which means we understand the way doctors think from the get-go. But now that we are selling, we also have my new left hand, my deal maker. So he is Dean Sikria. He is a member of our board. He is the former head of marketing for Johnson and Johnson. He led the digital
Wow.
health division across 25 countries. He was the head of strategy at Pfizer. Like, yes, I'm entering the US from London, but my team, like, it's boots on the ground in the US with decades of experience on the commercial side of things. So I couldn't be stronger to attack this market now.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Do you like after the US? What's next then? Like, I know it's a difficult beast to wrangle, and it's probably going to be a significantly long time of like just getting entrenched into the ecosystem, etc. But like post that, Europe is obviously, I assume, next up, and then beyond that, do you look at how you can reduce the cost over time so you can access some of these more developing markets?
Less time with zero days and with a higher percentage of success rate.
Hmm.
Now, for example, in 2022, I was in Africa. I was in Uganda. I was working at this clinic in rural Uganda. They had one X-ray machine that could take one X-ray every 30 minutes. So definitely this is not the type of place where you want to break a bone to undertake a surgery like this. So if there's a point in time in which manufacturers and distributors find a way to bring these implants to help these doctors in these clinics for these patients, even if they get access to the tools, they'll still need a way to operate on patients because it's very rare that anyone's going to donate a $3 million X-ray machine. But with our system, which is a handful of $100, you can make that happen.
And also, you can
So
upskill everyone faster.
exactly. So there's always a way to expand further than what we are doing. There's always a way, and we are here to help.
I love it. During this process of R&D, I assume there's been some financial backing, because R&D is very much it's a long time frame that you're looking at. In your case, maybe not as long as people might have imagined. And the
And
moment that you start generating revenue, you must be quite happy and thinking about like what how do we supercharge this thing? How do we take advantage of it?
yeah, indeed. So that's the thing. Like right now, I only raised what I needed to do what I wanted to do. We didn't over dilute ourselves. We didn't take money we didn't need. We didn't take money from people we didn't want. So
And
we've
so you
been
were
able
very
to,
curated around who sits on the
oh
board, who
yes,
you gave equity to, etc.
100%. Like no institutional investors have been introduced until now. Like no institutional investors are in our cap table. They've all been entrepreneurs, exited medical technology founders, like CEOs from global multinationals, like people that know how to manage thousands of people in workforce, people that have built workforce of over 1,000, people that have reached over $1 billion in valuation. So definitely people we can learn from. And now that we are reaching the next stage, this is something that's also been the result of the momentum. Like our goal was, well, we've got enough resources, we can sell, we'll do a small soft launch. But as we were doing the roadshow, we stopped by San Francisco, and over the past 5 weeks, over the past 5 days or 10 days now, we secured $800,000 in commitments from the best angels you can imagine, all through
Wow.
inbound. Like we didn't open around, we didn't say anything. We did the roadshow, we stopped ISF, we talked to some people, we went to a couple of podcasts, and people started calling, and they're like, well, and if we give you 300K, and this is a single individual, and then you
Mm,
get another one that says, what about this? And it's amazing people. It's the type of people I want to have around me to propel the next phase. So we're like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we got $800,000. We are going to open a round tomorrow, and the goal is to cross 50 hospitals, 50 paying hospitals within the next 12 months,
incredible.
in order to cross over 10 million ARR within the next 18 months.
20 AR in the next 18 months. Jesus, for a medical device.
Yes,
Whoa, that
that's the
is
goal.
quick. Wow.
That's the goal.
This is insane. So not only like I think that's just serendipity of the valley, right? It's like what we're trying to create in
Indeed.
Europe and like how do we do that? It's unmatched. It's undefeated.
It's gonna be all right.
It's going
I
to be
feel
a hell
very
of a ride, my friend. I'm looking forward to like documenting this process with you. We'll have to get you back on post raise, but I'm so happy that you were able to share this on the show with us. We deeply love you over here.
thank you so much, my friend. It's my pleasure.
Looking forward to seeing you soon. When you're back in the country or whichever country you're in currently, I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Very, very soon, my friend.
Thanks
Very,
so
very
much for
soon.
the time. Thanks, Moses.
Thank you.